Breaking in with a breaking news alert now as we approach 11 o'clock on this Monday morning. You're looking at a significant police presence right now. This is in Miami Gardens. We're working on confirming multiple bits of information, but from what we can tell you right now, the address, the area generally in Miami Gardens that we're looking at right now is around Northwest 153rd Street or 154th Street and Northwest 20th Avenue, within those blocks. And we say within those blocks because as you look at Sky 10 right now in this live image, it is an expansive response to what we are working to confirm. So far, we know this is a possible shooting involving an officer, and with that wording, of course, we are working to confirm more information with regards to did an officer actually get shot, to what degree that possibility happened, and obviously the possible suspects. And so far, anything else we have per Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. This is information we have confirmed so far as we approach 11 o'clock this morning. And that's the area which we just told you this is happening in right now. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue telling us a medical call was received. They have one trauma alert patient. No info yet on where that patient is going to be transported, but that's another one of the threads we will be following on right now as you take a look at this general, what is a block of residential areas right now that Sky 10 is giving you a live look at right now, and the officer response. It looks like we just peeked at two officers there in the top corner of your screen, perhaps walking across, but that earlier wide shot gave you a view in terms of how expansive this is right now. Going back to that Miami-Dade Fire Rescue information we were just giving you, they mentioned providing updates as they become available, but right now just transporting one trauma alert patient to the main trauma center. So that so far is confirmed. Now, what we are looking into right now is, again, a possible shooting involving an officer. That's what we're working to learn more information of right now as to, don't know if an officer was shot or to what degree potentially. Exactly what happened, that is still to be determined. But right now, you're looking at Miami Gardens at the moment, trying to get a closer, wider view of what was going on. And oh, at the top of your screen right there, now you see what is a collection of officers seemingly running to a specific location. As to where the location is, looking for any possible suspects, and coming into the backyard of what looks to be a home, or even perhaps in a bit of an abandoned area, because it looks like a vehicle is sort of burnt out there on the middle to right side of your screen. And now the officers, a collection of them, moving through this area right now. So again, as we work to exactly confirm the information with regards to what exactly the situation is, whether it was an officer-involved shooting or anything of the like, and the suspect or perhaps possible suspects that are involved, that seems to be the case right now, as officers, given the scope of the amount of them that are looking and out and about in this area right now, seems to be a significant response, but no clear indication at the moment that they have found person or persons they are looking for. But just a few seconds ago, it looked like more than a handful of them were sprinting across and running to a specific location. Now it seems to have sort of settled down a little bit, but there goes an officer's car at the bottom of your screen off to the right. It's been a handful of those at least. Almost looks like one of those officers carrying response to everything that is going on right now. So once again, this is in the Miami Gardens area, Northwest 154th Street and Northwest 20th Avenue. That was the initial location we were looking at, but given the perimeter established by law enforcement, keep in mind that this is extending beyond just a couple of blocks, likely 2, 3, if not more blocks right now, given the perimeter that's been set up and the wide view we gave you just about 5 minutes ago when we first broke in here to programming to give you an update on this situation. Notice the residential areas around. So typically in these situations, if there is a suspect or multiple suspects involved, this proves to be a little bit difficult with regards to the law enforcement response, because there are so many areas where a potential suspect, a possible suspect, could be hiding. It's hard enough for us to see a view from Sky 10 right now, given all the trees, the brush, the backyards of homes, the fences. So that's one end in terms of where to find a possible suspect, and another with regards to what the officers are doing right now to look for them. So this is an even wider view right now. There's an officer's vehicle going off to the right side of the top of your screen right now as we pan to the left and kind of give you a view as to what's going on. So once again, this is in Miami Gardens, Northwest 154th Street and Northwest 20th Avenue, right around that perimeter, give or take a few more blocks. Right now, what we have work to gather even more information throughout the rest of this morning and afternoon for you. They have told us that they are in this particular area. It was a medical call that came in a little bit earlier, and that they have one trauma alert patient. No info yet on where they will be transported or who exactly that person is. But again, we are looking into reports of a possible shooting involving an officer. So that is what we are working to confirm, as well as the fact that we do have a crew working on sending a crew to the location to get a better view of how things look on the ground right now. Because right now, from our bird's eye view, live from Sky 10, it has been pretty expansive. You see an officer's vehicle there as we slowly zoom in, passing the top of your screen, another one there at the bottom of your screen, and it looks like two officers approaching a group of, let's see, potential witnesses perhaps in that area right now. So all indicators point to the fact that they are looking for at least one suspect. If we do not know at this point if it's more than one, if it's two, if it's three, or if it's just one at the moment. But given the massive response that you've seen on your screen so far and the number of officers, just a couple minutes ago you saw at least 5 of them, if not closer to 10, sprinting across the screen toward a particular location behind a house. Nothing came up in that regard. In 20th Avenue, it looks like, as I strain to see that. So right around that area, looks to us from the map and from our bird's eye view that it is a lot of residential homes, a lot of streets, a lot of backyards, and that, of course, is the difficult part when it comes to finding a suspect right now.
And Gio, this is Janine Stanwood. I'm also in the newsroom with you as well, and I'm watching these pictures as you are watching these pictures. And I want to point out to our viewers, not only do we see those black and white Miami Gardens police vehicles, but we also see Miami-Dade police vehicles. Not clear if that means that Miami-Dade is also involved. Often they do provide mutual aid when there is a big scene like this. And you're absolutely right. This is a very much of a sort of a bedroom community in a way. Miami Gardens has a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of residential areas with single family homes, and that's what you're seeing. And you can see, again, police sort of taping off some areas as they potentially look for a suspect. We're looking to get more information about this, but you said it, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue did confirm that they did take somebody as a trauma alert to the hospital. Likely that is Jackson Memorial Hospital because that is the closest trauma hospital. And again, Sky 10 over this scene showing just this massive scene with police surrounding these areas, and we're working to get more information to see if there is indeed. Look at these pictures, you can see, it looks like right now Miami Gardens and Miami-Dade police are just sort of working to secure these areas, taping them off so that they can do their work.
And it's something else to point out. Obviously, traffic is a concern. This being mostly a residential area, Janine, we have noticed before in similar situations like this, the officers are really just trying to establish a perimeter, boundary to make it that much easier, hopefully, for them to catch however many suspects, whether it's one or more right now that they're looking for. But this gives the sense of urgency to the situation right now, given what we've seen the last 10 minutes or so, given the number of officers that have responded and just how wide they sort of established this perimeter so far.
And it was also pointed out to me that actually those black and white cars might be Miami-Dade Schools police. Even so, just given the big nature of this scene, how many officers are here. And again, we're working to confirm information, but just take a look at the sheer numbers of law enforcement right here on this main road. And we have been told actually that fire rescue has arrived at the Ryder Trauma Center, so we're hoping to get more information on that. But once again, you can see Miami-Dade police are on scene, and it looks like they have just this whole area covered. You can see that is a gas station right there. That's sort of a staging area, and law enforcement.
So for anyone just joining in, just to catch any viewers up, as we are breaking into regular programming right now, normally The View would be airing right now as we approach Local 10 News at noon, but we jumped on at around 10:57, 10:56 a.m. or so to give you this breaking news alert and this update right now as we keep an eye on live Sky 10 footage as to what's going on. But for anyone who's just perhaps tuning in, we were looking into reports of a possible shooting involving an officer. Again, this is information that is still very fluid, and we're trying to work exactly what happened. But since then, we've noticed this large police presence in the area. This is Northwest 154th Street and Northwest 20th Avenue. That's the general locator here in Miami Gardens. And I say general because, as Janine and I just mentioned, we've been zooming out and giving you that wider perspective as to what's going on, and officers establishing a perimeter to look for potential suspects, possible suspects. As to how many there are, that we are still working to confirm, but we do know, given what we've seen so far on our cameras and live from Sky 10, that they are looking for at least one person. And over the course of the last 5 minutes or so, we've seen various officers running, moving around, trying to move with haste in terms of looking for that potential suspect or suspects.
And it's a daunting task, no doubt, Gio, because they're getting ready for the Thanksgiving holidays, so you're dealing with a lot of people in these homes and potentially looking for possible suspects. And so you have officers just about at every corner now. You can see officers are gathered right here. It looks like at this point they're here just sort of in a backup situation, but you can see these heavily armed officers. Looks like they're ready to go and waiting to get more information about where a potential suspect is. And in this situation, if it indeed was an officer who was injured in all of this, and we're still waiting to confirm that, this is a situation where you have to think, here's a suspect who, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. We were learning more information from the newsroom there. An MDPD officer was shot, that we can confirm at the moment. So that's colors the situation a little bit more. And I wanted to add one more point, Janine, to what you were saying, is that in this typical case, what makes it so difficult is that when we typically jump in with breaking news alerts when it comes to potential suspects, either on the run or after a chase, that tends to be in heavily trafficked areas, really open areas where you can have a better idea of where to see and catch said person. But in this case, as you pointed out, with families at homes, a lot of residences here, a lot of houses here, a lot of backyards and trees, it proves to be a little bit more difficult when it comes to someone there. On that note, as we just confirmed with you that an MDPD officer here today, one trauma alert patient is what they had. So we will continue to work this story for you, try and gather more information right now. We're going to let you go. Just know that there is a crew. We do have a crew headed to the scene to get you another perspective, and we will, of course, continue to work this story and gather more information for you as the morning comes along. Stay with us on air and online. And, of course, Local 10 News at noon starts in just 50 minutes. For now, we'll send you back.